Sara and the Jinn, a magical sleeping story. In a quiet village, nestled between ancient hills and whispering forests, there lived a girl named Sara. Her name drifted through the air like a song, soft, mysterious, unforgettable. People said she was as beautiful as the dawn, with eyes that calmed storms and a smile that felt like spring after a long winter. But what made Sara truly special wasn't just her beauty. It was something gentler, something deeper. The way she moved like wind through trees, the way she listened to silence. Suitors came from distant towns, offering riches and promises, yet Sara stayed quiet, dreaming of a love she could feel in her soul, a love that would feel like magic. But her beauty, like sunlight, did not just warm, it cast shadows too. Sara had two older sisters, ordinary in comparison, ignored, resentful. As proposal after proposal came for Sara, their hearts began to harden. Whispers turned to cruelty, smiles became cold, and slowly, Sara's home stopped feeling like home. Her parents, troubled by the growing bitterness, decided it was time. They would marry Sara off. Not for her happiness, but to ease the tension at home. But fate had already begun writing another story. At the edge of the village stood an old banyan tree. It had stood there longer than memory, longer than time. It was said to be cursed, or blessed. Because within that tree lived a Jinn. His name was Jafar. For centuries, he had watched humans from afar, never interfering, never feeling. Until one day, he heard laughter. Voices of young men sitting beneath his tree, speaking of a girl named Sara. The way they described her, the way her name danced in the air, something shifted in Jafar's ancient heart. He had to see her. Days later, disguised as a man, he wandered through the village, and then he saw her. Sara, the sun catching in her hair, her eyes lowered, her steps soft against the earth. He forgot to breathe. If a Jinn could even do that. He began returning, watching from a distance, always unseen, always silent. And yet, Sara noticed him. A presence, a warmth, a stranger who felt like a memory she hadn't lived yet. One day, as she walked home from the market, a group of men blocked her path. Their words were cruel, their eyes colder. Sara turned to leave, but one grabbed her wrist. Before she could scream, he was there, the stranger, Jafar, eyes like fire. Within seconds, the men were on the ground, groaning, fleeing. Sara ran, heart pounding, but her bracelet had slipped from her hand. That night, she sat by her window, stars overhead, heart full of questions. And there, beneath her window, stood the stranger again. "I came to return this," he said softly, holding out her bracelet. She stared. "Who are you?" she whispered. "How do you know my name?" He smiled. Everyone knows the name Sara. From that night forward, the world felt different. Brighter, wilder. They met often, by accident or fate. Their words slow, eyes speaking more than lips ever could. Sara began to feel what she had only imagined, love. But then, her parents brought news. A man had come, rich, much older. He wished to marry Sara. It was arranged. That night, Sara cried beneath the stars. And Jafar came. Silent at first, then gently, he spoke. "You look troubled." "I don't want to marry him," she whispered. "I don't want to lose you." Jafar's eyes darkened. "There's something I must tell you. I'm not like them. I'm not human. I'm a Jinn, Sara. I've lived through centuries of silence. But I broke that silence for you. I didn't mean to fall in love, but I did." Sara's lips parted in disbelief. A faint shimmer crossed his skin. For a moment, he was not a man, but something ancient, powerful, beautiful. She fainted. When she awoke, her family thought she'd simply fallen ill, but Sara remembered everything, and Jafar was gone. Days turned to weeks, no sign of him, only wind in the trees and silence in her heart. One evening, she returned to the old banyan tree, tears in her eyes. "Why did you leave me?" she whispered. And the wind answered. He stepped out from the shadows, worn, tired, but still him. "I was punished," he said softly, "for loving a human. I lost my powers, my world. But I came back because even eternity is empty without you." Sara stepped forward, took his hand. "Then stay," she whispered. "Not as a Jinn, but as the man I love." And he did. Jafar lived as one of them. He helped her parents. He brought peace between the sisters. He built a life brick by brick with his hands and with his heart. A year passed. Under the same banyan tree, they were married. Not in secret, not in fear, but in light, surrounded by those who had once doubted, now cheering. And as the stars watched from above, Sara and Jafar, once from different worlds, fell asleep that night in each other's arms. Because sometimes, love is the only kind of magic we ever need. Good night.